Okay, let's unpack this. The whole Sean Diddy Combs legal situation, it's been everywhere, right?
Absolutely. Huge attention.
But then Al B Sure testified. And wow, that seemed to really stop people in their tracks.
It did, because here's someone connected claiming he knew things about Kim Porter's death.
And not just that, but suggesting he himself became a target because of it.
Exactly. And what makes the information we're digging into today so potent is the source.
Right.
We're looking at verbatim federal courtroom testimony. Inner City Press reported it. These are the actual words spoken under oath.
That carries a lot of weight. I mean, lying under oath has serious consequences.
Huge consequences, which makes his claims, even more noteworthy.
Definitely. So, for you listening, our mission here in this deep dive is to really get to the heart of what Al B Sure actually said in court about Kim Porter, what happened after.
Yeah, cutting through the speculation, just focusing on the testimony itself.
Okay, so where did he start?
Well, he started by talking about his relationship with Kim Porter. He made it clear they were still close, even after they weren't romantically involved anymore.
Like mutual respect, concern for each other.
Exactly. Real concern. And that context is important for understanding how he viewed everything that happened later.
Okay. And didn't he mention some kind of warning she gave him?
Yes, this is really unsettling. He recalled Kim telling him years before something like, "You're too trusting, keep being this open, and you're gonna get hurt." Or worse.
Wow. Chilling.
And he admitted, back then he didn't fully get it. But looking back, he thinks he understands now all too well.
And beyond that general warning, did she express more specific fears directly to him?
According to his testimony, yes. He said Kim told him point blank she feared for her life.
Really?
And that it wasn't just random people, but individuals inside Diddy's inner circle who were dangerous to her.
That immediately raises huge questions about how she died, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Al stated very clearly he believes her death wasn't from natural causes.
Okay. Did he offer anything more concrete? Like why she felt that way?
He recounted Kim telling him just weeks before she passed that she felt watched. Constantly.
Like surveillance.
Yeah, she thought her calls were tapped, that there was always someone physically outside her house. It paints a picture of someone living under, extreme pressure.
That sounds terrifying. Tapped phones being watched.
And then there's this notebook. Al claimed Kim kept a detailed diary or notebook.
Containing what?
Names, dates, places, and apparently a statement that read, "If anything happens to me, it wasn't an accident."
Whoa. If that's true, that's incredibly significant, documenting her fears like that.
It suggests a level of premeditation almost in recording her concerns.
And he also said she was planning to go public.
Yes, that was another part of his testimony, that she was about to expose what he called Diddy's control over her life and others too.
Control through what means?
Manipulation, threats, surveillance, that kind of thing. He portrayed her as someone ready to break free.
Okay, so fast forward to after her death. What did Al B Sure say happened then?
This is where it gets even darker. He claimed he hired a private investigator.
Weird.
And the PI allegedly found her house had been completely cleaned out. Her phone, laptop, any notes she might have kept, all gone.
Gone. Just like that. That sounds suspicious. A deliberate cover-up, maybe?
That's certainly the implication. The absence of those potential records right after her death, it raises immediate red flags.
Almost like a movie scene. And what about the police? Did he try talking to them?
He did, but he testified that law enforcement was dismissive. They apparently suggested he was just, overcome with grief.
So they didn't take his concerns seriously?
Not according to him. And adding to that, he claims he got a warning, sort of secondhand, through a mutual friend.
A warning? To do what?
To stop poking around, basically back off.
Wow, okay. What else? Did he mention anything else missing?
Yeah, this is quite something. He talked about what he called Kim's insurance.
Insurance? Like blackmail material?
Well, he described it as hours of recordings on an old school tape recorder, documenting calls, conversations, arguments.
And these tapes?
They disappeared, along with her safe, reportedly.
The tapes and a safe. Gone.
That's what he testified. He also mentioned she'd been working on a memoir manuscript.
Her life story.
Detailing her experiences, wanting her truth out there. That vanished too, he said.
This just keeps getting stranger.
Yeah.
And the details of how she was actually found, didn't he contradict the official story?
He did. The initial reports often said she was found peacefully in bed, but Al testified he heard differently.
From who?
Someone close to the household staff, he claimed. They apparently told him she was found in the bathroom.
In the bathroom. not the bed.
Right. And that there were alleged bloodstains on her pillowcase, and maybe even a trail from the bed to the bathroom.
That's a very different picture. Did he try to get the autopsy report?
Yes, but he claimed he was denied access, said it was sealed.
Sealed. Wow. Why would it be sealed?
That's a good question. He also pointed out a timeline discrepancy.
What kind of discrepancy?
Well, the official records generally say she was found unresponsive around 11 a.m., but Al claims Kim made a 911 call herself much earlier.
She called 911 when?
At 2:43 a.m., according to his testimony.
Wait, 2:43 a.m. she calls 911, but she's not found until 11 a.m. That's a huge gap.
A very significant gap. It raises the critical question: what happened in those missing hours?
And didn't he say something about her worrying about her son, Quincy?
Yes, that was heartbreaking. He stated Kim told him, if anything happens to me, protect Quincy. He's the one they'll come for next.
God, that shows how scared she must have been for her family.
Deeply scared. He also claimed she was actually planning to move.
Move where?
Out of Los Angeles, quietly, with her children, supposedly in early 2019, a plan she never got to carry out.
Okay, so that's all incredibly disturbing about Kim. But then the story takes a sharp turn towards Al B.
Sure.
himself. Right, his own health crisis.
Exactly. The narrative shifts dramatically. He talked about October 2022, his sudden, unexplained medical emergency.
He went into a coma.
A coma, yeah. Multi-organ failure. He said he flatlined twice. This wasn't like a long illness. It was abrupt, severe.
In someone who was, what, basically healthy before that?
Seemingly, yes. And Al testified under oath. He doesn't think it was random.
He thinks he was targeted, even before the coma.
That's what he said. He felt targeted beforehand. And he confirmed he'd been subpoenaed for this trial.
And he was scared to testify.
Initially, yes, which kind of underscores the danger he felt he was in.
And the timing.
Yeah.
Wasn't there something about a journalist?
Right. This is striking. He claims that right before this health crash, he was arranging to meet a journalist.
To share Kim's information.
Exactly, to share what Kim had allegedly told him. But that interview never got published, he said.
Okay, that's suspicious timing. And the flash drive. Tell me about that.
Right. He also said he'd been anonymously mailed a flash drive. It supposedly had voice memos, names, timestamps, crucial stuff.
And what happened to it?
Mysteriously vanished from his home while he was hospitalized.
Vanished. Along with
his security cameras reportedly being disabled or the footage wiped.
Okay, this sequence of events, it sounds like something out of a spy novel. A flash drive disappears,
Yeah.
cameras are down.
It does sound surreal, and Al's conviction is firm. He believes his medical crisis wasn't just bad luck or bad health.
He thinks it was an attack.
Yes. He said, chillingly, they couldn't shut Kim up, so they made her disappear. I got lucky.
And the prosecution backed this up somehow.
They submitted medical records confirming his sudden, unexplained collapse. It lends credibility to that part of his account.
Did he mention anything else leading up to the coma? Any specific incidents?
He did. He claimed that just 2 weeks before, he was contacted, indirectly,
By who?
a third party, supposedly representing a friend. The assumption is this friend was Diddy.
And what did they want?
They allegedly offered him a financial courtesy, basically money for his silence.
Did he take it?
He didn't say explicitly, but the implication is no, given his testimony. He also described other weird things happening before the coma. His home Wi-Fi being disabled, his car tires slashed, even an attempted break-in at his place.
A whole pattern of harassment, it sounds like.
That's how he presented it. And he even claimed toxicology tests showed unexplained substances in his blood.
Substances, despite the official medical report saying.
Right, despite the official report apparently citing undetermined complications for the organ failure. So a direct contradiction there.
Which raises huge questions about the official findings.
Absolutely. And then the testimony moved into more direct threats, actual witness tampering allegations.
He claimed someone put a bounty on his head.
Yeah.
Seriously.
That was his claim, yes, a bounty. And he recounted getting a warning from someone else, a former music industry insider.
Another warning. What did this one say?
Stop talking about Kim, delete social media posts about her, let the past go.
Just drop it completely.
Pretty much. He also mentioned getting anonymous, threatening texts.
And the car brakes. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah, an incident where his car brakes allegedly failed. He filed police reports about vehicle tampering and threats in 2023.
What happened with those reports?
Dismissed. Lack of conclusive evidence, apparently.
So his word against, well, nothing concrete found the police.
Right. But Al offered his perspective on it. He said something like, when powerful men feel cornered, they don't get their hands dirty.
Meaning they use their money, their influence.
They let their money speak for them, was his quote, I believe. He claimed they leverage resources to pressure people.
Did he give a specific example of that?
He did. He detailed an alleged approach from a former Bad Boy Records employee.
Offering money again?
A specific amount this time.
Okay.
$500,000, he claimed.
$500,000. To do what?
To retract everything he'd said about Kim's death. To publicly state he had no concerns.
Can Diddy?
He said he vehemently refused.
And the prosecution, are they pursuing this, the witness tampering angle?
They stated in court their intention to present more evidence, specifically about attempted witness tampering and threats against Al B.
So that could lead to even more charges, potentially.
Potentially, yes. It shows how seriously they're taking these specific allegations against him.
Okay. Then he brought up other deaths.
Yeah.
People connected to Diddy,
Yes, he shifted focus slightly. He brought up Andre Harrell.
the founder of Uptown Records, Diddy's mentor.
Right. His death was reported as a heart attack. And also Heavy D, the rapper, heart failure.
Both connected to Diddy and Uptown. What was Al's point?
He noted they both knew Diddy well, and crucially, both were reportedly working on books or memoirs.
Memoirs that never got finished.
Never completed before they died. And Al posed the question directly, something like, you tell me that's a coincidence.
Implying. Maybe it wasn't a coincidence at all.
That's the clear implication he was making, raising suspicion about those deaths too.
Okay, going back to Al being targeted, was there any proof he was being watched, besides his own feeling?
Well, this is interesting. Private investigators hired by Al apparently did present evidence.
Evidence of surveillance, like what?
Dash cam footage, stills from store security cameras, even geolocation pings, all indicating he was being tailed in 2023.
So, actual tracking data.
According to the testimony, yes. He described it as constant aggressive surveillance. He even mentioned a specific incident at Quincy's Netflix screening where he felt followed.
Wow. But the most powerful evidence might have been that voicemail, right? From Kim herself.
Absolutely. That seemed to have a huge impact in the courtroom. They played a voicemail message from Kim to Al.
Recovered from his phone backups.
Yes. Sent just weeks before she died.
What did it say?
You could hear the unease in her voice, apparently. She urged him, if anything happened to her, tell the truth. And she warned him, watch your back.
Hearing her actual voice saying that.
Yeah.
Especially the watch your back part. That must have been heavy.
Undeniably significant. It just powerfully underlined everything else he testified about her fear, her paranoia.
Which he elaborated on more, right? The feeling watched.
Yes, he reiterated she constantly felt watched, thought her phones were tapped, believed there were hidden cameras in her home.
Hidden cameras. Where?
He even claimed she found a recording device hidden inside her child's stuffed toy.
In a child's toy.
Yeah.
That's deeply disturbing.
Extremely. And he mentioned another incident. Allegedly, someone tried to spike her wine at a dinner party. Left her very shaken.
So how did Al wrap up his testimony? What was his final message?
He concluded with his belief about Kim, that she died of silence, essentially, from keeping secrets.
And that resonated with his own experience.
Clearly, his own near-death experience seemed to fuel that conviction. He talked about waking from the coma, doctors baffled, unable to explain the organ failure,
Reinforcing his belief that it wasn't natural.
and reinforcing his belief that people around Diddy who know things, they end up, in his words, erased, sick, or buried.
Strong words. What did the judge do?
The judge instructed the prosecution to provide Al's full medical file for corroboration.
Which shows they're taking his medical claims very seriously, too.
Definitely. And Al's final statement was basically he owed it to Kim to make sure the silence ends.
Wow. Okay. So summing all this up, Al B. Sure's testimony under oath paints a really dark, complex picture.
It really does. Grave allegations about Kim Porter's death, the aftermath, the alleged threats, his own medical crisis. It's a lot. And the fact it's sworn testimony gives it significant weight.
Absolutely. And it leaves so many questions hanging, doesn't it? So many suspicions.
Lingering doubts, for sure.
So when you consider everything Al B.
Yeah.
Sure's laid out, what does it suggest about, the power dynamics in that world? The potential consequences.
It raises profound questions about influence, control, and what might happen when someone feels threatened within the entertainment industry. The potential reach of power.
And what the ultimate truth might be behind this whole deeply unsettling situation. It's definitely a lot for us and for you listening to think about.
It is. And the legal process is ongoing, so it's worth following credible reporting to see how this develops.